Hello and welcome to our coverage of the Michigan Invite 2018 as the Michigan Wolverines will host the Marist Red Foxes in their final competition here at the Michigan Invite. I'm Daniel Thompson, joined alongside by Lucas Vargas, live from Canham Natatorium here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Moments away from the opening sprint, his fourth game against a ranked opponent here at the Michigan Invite. On the season, having gone 1-2 so far against ranked competition today in this weekend in the tournament. 20th ranked Wagner 10-7 on Saturday, dropping one against 4th ranked UCLA 9-5 afternoon, and dropping a few hours ago a game 10-7 against 9th ranked Pacific. And the final sprint, the opening sprint has begun. Michigan's will lead the sprint. She just edges out Marist sprinter to earn Michigan the opening possession of the game. Catherine Tiarina was just a bit slower than Kathy Rogers, so Michigan will earn one extra possession to start the game. Michigan's Caroline Anderson possesses the ball at mid-pool, but there was an offensive foul, so it's going to be a turnover here. Red Foxes will resume possession.
Marist right away pressuring Michigan near mid-pool and creating a turnover.
Indeed, that's a strong defensive start by the
Pacific.
Red Foxes. Discussing earlier today, had a very aggressive play style, and it paid off for them. They cashed it in for a 3-goal victory. Marist nearly committing an offensive turnover, however, a foul was deemed against Michigan. So Marist will retain possession. However, they see nothing doing, dumping the ball into the corner for a moisten of their own. Michigan's ensuing possession, a smart strategy there by the Red Foxes.
Continuing to press and pressure Michigan, break that and get it inside.
And Michigan's gains possession right in front of the 2-meter zone. However, she's unable to corral the ball and over. What do you think Michigan needs to do differently if they want to escape with a win today against Marist?
Right there, Marist scores a goal, and that's that. But they have to be able to break the initial pressure that Marist is giving them. And right now, it's giving them a lot of trouble.
Indeed, Marist kind of caught me off guard there with a quick pass into the center. Was able to score early, make it 1-0.
With a goal, the junior out of Annapolis, Maryland.
So Marist being an East Coast school with some more East Coast talent, as Michigan plays it into Maddie Steer, rather Kathy Rogers maybe with the ball. Yes, it is Kathy Rogers, as Michigan searching for a break into the Johnson possesses it about 4 meters from the goal. Defensive foul committed. Michigan will retain possession. 12 seconds. They have to hurry. Who skips in one by into the side netting for a Michigan goal. That's going to tie this thing up at 1-1.
Able to draw a penalty and then kind of catch Marist a little off guard by quickly swinging the ball around to the other side of the goal. And Kathy Rogers, she's had a good day today so far, able to skip it by the Marist goalkeeper.
Opening sprint, a good start for the day for her, absolutely. Gets the opening goal for the Wolverines. Would like to get a lead. They've been playing from behind all day today. Never held a lead once against. As right now, Marist plays the ball around the perimeter center, but she was well covered. So Michigan easily picks off that one.
Yeah, good defense by Kim Rogers to not foul and force a Marist turnover. Trying to get something going on the offensive end.
Ball, Kim Johnson, who surveys the pool, looking to see if any teammates can get open. They're well covered. Maddie Steer calls for the ball. Actually calls for the ball. Now passes it across the pool. Lost some yardage there. Had to retreat backwards. Kathy Rogers now passes it on. Caroline Anderson has to shoot, running out of time. Oh, hits the sidebar. Then Marist taking over.
The common theme today, hitting the frame of the goal. That one was a hard shot, but
indeed, Michigan really has not been able to find the back of the net as much as they'd like to. They keep on rattling these goalposts, but rarely sinking them in. Passing the ball around the perimeter, looking to tie, get a 2-1 lead, 4:50 to go in this first quarter. Caroline Anderson with the steal, though, use a fast break and get ahead of the Marist defense. Mid-pool, surveying to see if any of your teammates are open. Lobs one up, who catches it around the 2-meter zone. Maddie Spear, but that was ahead of her, easily intercepted by Marist.
Good idea. I like the pass ahead. Risky going to the far corner, and Marist defense was able to recover, but I do like the idea of trying to get something going early in transition.
Yeah, wet passes can be very drop the ball ahead of a swimmer, and if they can outswim their opponents, then that's a possible set for a very easy goal-scoring situation. Did not pay out for the Wolverines. Just plays it into the center. They're now in the 2-meter zone. Aggressive defense from Caroline Anderson is going to earn her an exclusion. Marist now takes the first power play of the game, up 6-5. Some of their, assuming that the possession was lost, they're going to now have a one swimmer advantage. They pass the ball around the perimeter, looking for an open shot. Passed around right by the post, decides not to take it. Caroline Anderson is back in there at full strength, and the ball is tipped off. That was either Maddie Steer or Kim Johnson. Both of them were in the area. One of them got a hand on it. And a Michigan ball. Ball's played into Maddie O'Reilly.
The freshman had a really good game against China, especially. I believe she had 3 or 4 goals in that exhibition versus China. Maddie O'Reilly did. Indeed,
in her only second collegiate water polo tournament, she's able to earn some playing time with the starters. This is a good showing against China. Michigan still has one more game against China, an exhibition match that will wrap up their day. Meanwhile, after a turnover, has the ball. Oh, they're able to right past the defender. Delaney Cleveland kind of mistimed her attack. Marist was able to get right by her. That ends up setting up a illusion. So Marist will have a 6-on-5 advantage, passing the ball around the perimeter, looking for a good look. Cross court, back up center. Cam Coriel makes the save. A lot of arms in the way of that shot. Perhaps not the best shot selection.
A good team defense all around by the Wolverines. And Cameron Coriel tournament. I thought she had a pretty good game this morning despite the final score. Another save early on here.
Ball is played to Kathy Rogers, who passes it way back to Delaney Cleveland. To get it, she would get to the ball and receive that pass. She was mugged, however, in the process. That's going to be an exclusion. 6-on-5 power play for the Wolverines. Marist is over 2 so far on the day. Yet to attempt one. Rogers passes it back to Jimenez. Jimenez to Johnson. Across the pool to O'Reilly. Back to Jimenez up top. Delaney Cleveland fires. It hit ricochets off 2 different Marist players, but ultimately finds its way in the back of the net. Hit one defender. She got a good chunk of that ball. And Marist keeper Hope Vickers ends up and Michigan takes a 2-1 lead, their first lead so far on this Sunday.
We said Delaney Cleveland's name a lot yesterday. It's felt early on. It's a big goal, and you're right, Michigan's first lead of all day today.
I don't think they've led since maybe early on in that China game. Got behind in their first 2 games against, in their previous 2 games against top 10 opponents. Marist, the top number ranked 24th, not quite as strong as their previous opponents. Michigan hoping to bounce back and finish the day NCAA opponents and improve their record to 5-4 on the season. Marist, not doing much of anything, creating no penetration, is able to take a shot from way downtown. Play is too high for Cordial to reach it. That's going to tie this game back up at 2-2 with 1:30 exactly remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, big goal for the Red Foxes. We saw their offensive ability yesterday. They scored a lot of goals against UCLA. The problem was they gave up way too many goals to compete in that game. but we saw some of the offensive ability this team possesses. It's a team that wants to score really fast, and they're going to throw a lot at you.
Plays to Maddie Steer. Maddie O'Reilly fighting for the 2-meter zone. She defender shot, but it hits the crossbar and ends up Marist.
A strong shot, just a little bit too high. Now Marist will go the other way.
Marist trying to quickly capitalize on that, maybe score quick enough that they can get one more possession. Ends up forcing a pass to the center. Easily picked off by Michigan's Sophia Pontre. Cameron Cordial plays it up quickly to Julia Sellers, who's already in the 2-meter zone, has 2 defenders on her, won't be able to get a pass off, looks for a teammate close to the keeper. That was an ill-advised pass, and it's an easy interception from Marist keeper.
Or attempted a shot herself, Julia Sellers, but I like the push ahead, and Cameron Cordial had a really good pass to get it down there in the first place.
Meanwhile, Marist is able to get back quickly, lob the ball ahead of defenders. However, they aren't quite able to make a shot out of that opportunity. They end up passing it meters zone and restarting the offense. Senior captain Christina Obeck now is in the game for the Wolverines. Maddie Steer with a hand in the face of seconds on the shot clock. They have to shoot. It was a good shot for such a forced one. She was able to lob it over Maddie Steer's hands. Once again, Catherine Tiarina boxes. However, it was not quite high enough to knock it over Cameron Cordial. Timeout, head coach. No, rather that was the end of the period.
Yep. Small college out of Poughkeepsie, New York.
Yeah, Lucas, you were talking to me yesterday. You actually have been on Marist's campus for a sports broadcasting camp.
I have. I actually got my start in sports broadcasting at Marist College. I'm over there. I was there for 2 weeks. Nice little campus in a nice part of New York. A little backdoor connection to the Marist Red Foxes.
Yeah, really, it's come all full circle. You know, I don't know how old you were, but
heading into my junior year of high school.
So that's 16. You were at. Yep. Can you repeat the name? I can't quite pronounce. It's a lot of letters for a shorter name.
Poughkeepsie, yeah.
Poughkeepsie, New York, about an hour north of New York City.
About an hour and a half. Yep. A lot nicer area of New York, and closer to upstate. So.
And West Point.
Yeah, kind of tucked away in there. So, on the Hudson River. Very, very beautiful area.
Yeah, presumably, I suppose it's a scenic campus. You have high praise for it. You really enjoyed your time there.
I did. It's a little bit of a small school. We do have good programs there. So, here to the Michigan Invitational.
Indeed. So, Lucas Vargas, about as unbiased of a possibly have, attends Michigan. However, he loves Marist.
I love both, and a good first period of water polo here. Marist, their strength is definitely on offense. They weren't able to convert, but Marist able to themselves, and now at 2-2, wants to possess the ball, obviously. But I mean, we watched a couple of their games yesterday, and their offense, they were pretty weak on their defensive end, but Michigan has been unable to really capitalize on that much so far.
Michigan is still tied up 2-2. They did have a lead in this one, but quickly let it go. Pull away from this one to feel comfort. It would be bad for their postseason resume if they were to drop one here to 24th Marist. The opening sprint of the second quarter is right underway. Kathy Rogers, who has been the Michigan sprinter for most sprints so far this weekend, is back after Julia Sellers was the sprinter on the previous opening sprint, and she will face Lexi Poole, and Kathy Rogers will win that by an impressive margin. I think that's the biggest sprint victory I've seen all weekend. England is certainly a strong swimmer. Skylar Pyle now for the Wolverines. Haven't seen a whole lot of playing time outside of the China exhibition game. On Anderson. Looks like head coach Leonardi has been impressed with her play. Extra playing time early in this game. Caroline Anderson finds Kim Johnson. 7 seconds to shoot. She's at the 5-meter zone. Marist defenders enclose on her. That's going to result in a turnover almost every time.
Michigan trying to force the ball inside there. Marist even does a great job collapsing on the ball and making sure that Kim Johnson is uncomfortable. and they're able to head back the other way on offense.
Marist now moving the ball around, looking for an opportunity to score, take the lead. Kim Johnson, offensive player, she's able to get a clean steal, and if she can swim fast enough, she can beat everyone. And the next closest swimmer is her teammate, Skylar Pyle, who she passed it to. There's no one who can beat besides the keeper. But she ricochets it off the upper corner. She had time to wind up her shot a half an inch lower to the left, and that probably would have ricocheted in for the Wolverines. Marist now flips pool.
You can't ask for much better look than the breakaway one-on-one with the goalie. Just too high, and once again deflecting off the frame of the goal. Man, it's a tough one for the Wolverines to swallow.
Marist now pump faking, well defended by Maddie Steer. 12 seconds on their shot clock. They have not created any pressure. A tip ball, which allows Caroline Anderson to fight for it. Marist gets it back, but not before the shot clock expires. Caroline Anderson now leading the ball, trying to. There's 2-on-4, but she and Kathy Rogers tried to force the issue and get to the 2-meter zone, but she finds it's Sophie Pointre, who was wide open, kind of far away from the goal, but she had no arms in her face. A decent opportunity, takes the shot, but it's stuffed. Now Marist, Kath is taking the ball. Marist player has lost her cap. We don't know who she is. No number to identify her by. Michigan in their navy caps with a Marist cap with two red seams going down the center. Here now takes the ball in the pool, finds Caroline Anderson. Anderson being guarded by the player without a cap. Kathy Rogers on the other side of the pool, who gets open, finds Laura Jimenez, but quickly the Marist defense closes on her. Jimenez still wrestling for it, but eventually the ball just floats over to the. Sorry, my apologies. Lost. But her possession. To go. We're down 3 minutes here in the second quarter. No scores to speak of yet. Trying to change that with this possession. The official is signaling that I believe I'm out.
They're going to let the Marist player put her cap back on. Come undone too, so I think they just want to fast on the penalty and let this player put her.
You are indeed correct, Lucas, that the referee just decided to stop a slow point of play. First player could get her cap on. We can finally identify her once that happens. Keep the swim out to go find it.
Also, they might just sub her out for
she is going to come off
so that she can get herself back ready to go.
At the T Arena, a fresh swimmer onto the pool. 15 seconds remaining. Marist trying to break the tie. Pass behind her teammate. As Marist has to recover that ball. They have yet to get any penetration into the 5-meter zone. 7 seconds left, and they're marching backward away from the goal. Room now because of a minor foul. Have to pass it all the way backward. That was a poor pass. Marist player wisely is chucking the ball back over her head, so Michigan has to go chase that ball. 4 remaining in this period. Caroline Anderson swims into the 5-meter zone. Johnson on the wing. It's going to be Marist ball, Michigan. Ariana Singer, the junior for the Marist Red Foxes, now finds a teammate who was guarded well by Caroline Anderson. And the ball is lobbed over Anderson's head into the center. 2 meters on possession now for Marist. They're going to turn around though and look for a better pass. Can't find any teammate. It's guarded well by Sophie Pointre. She lost up a blind pass, finds a teammate though. Her teammate though tried to pass it into an open player, so it was picked off by Kathy Rogers.
Good team defense by the Wolverines, forcing some poor passing.
Andre finds Steer, who finds a wide open Skylar Pyle, who this time basically had the exact same look that she hit the crossbar on earlier. This time lines up a little bit better and hits the inside of the post, and it ricochets in for a Michigan goal. Wolverines lead 3-2.
Good defense leads to good offense. Poor passing by the Red Foxes, and they're able to quickly advance it up the left side of the pool. Eventually collects it, dashes it in back of the net. No disappointment this time for the Wolverines.
She had her practice go, learned a lesson, and then this time nailed it. Demonstrated the gravity of Maddie Steer. Once the ball was passed to her in the center, 3 different swimmers converged on her, and that left Skylar Pyle wide open for an easy goal. Played in now by Marist. They enter the 5-meter zone, pumping, looking for a shot or a pass. Play it backward. Marist now has a 6-on-5 advantage. They can cash in here and tie this game back up on a power play today. In fact, no one has. The face of the wing. They played out to the right side of the wing now. To the point. Sea of hands in her face. Maddie O'Reilly, the lone defender right now between the ball and the goal. Front. And that's a low percentage shot. A lot of arms in the way there. Ends up hitting Cameron Cordial, but that will give Marist the ball and a fresh new shot clock. 35 seconds now. The 5-meter zone already.
Wolverines able to regroup on defense. It's a good job deflecting it out of bounds. And the defense reset.
That's a really deep shot. It still is well placed, though, and that's going to result in a Marist goal. That was Marist from Los Angeles, a freshman, with a great shot. Gets over the arm of gets over Laura Jimenez's outstretched arm and past Cameron Cordial. There, Maddie Steer now taking over possession after that goal. 3 minutes to play in this quarter. Waiting with the ball, trying to see if anyone can get open, create any kind of separation. Pass to Julia Sellers, who finds Laura Jimenez and the wing. Back to Sellers. Back to Cleveland. 12 seconds remaining on the shot clock. They have to operate quickly here. Back to Sellers. Some Marist players are already giving up on this and heading back toward the Michigan side of the pool to get a quick fast break. Wanted the shot. Low percentage shot. Ricochets off the crossbar. Easily corralled by Marist. And now they will set up their offense. They find a player on the wing. They cross the pool to the other side. Maddie Steer in one-on-one coverage right now. Not much distance between the ball and the cage. Now called by Marist head coach Chris Vidal. We'll see what he draws up here as he looks to take Marist's first lead in quite some time. We're seeing a bit more in attendance here at Canham Natatorium. Nothing going to quite reach that was against UCLA. Still, Michigan fans and the Michigan Trooper are out here representing their team.
Like we talked about earlier, was a phenomenal crowd that I'm sure all the girls, despite the tough loss right now, not quite the same crowd like you said, but a little bit better than the 9 a.m. early morning. I had to get here even earlier than that for early weekend for us.
Indeed. You know, when you're in college, one of your goals is to sleep in as much as you can on the weekend. We have sacrificed some of that. Water polo here this weekend. A bunch of ranked teams in competition. Takes the pool. Michigan still has 20 seconds to serve an exclusion. That would be why head coach Chris Vidal managed to draw the offense he wants to see following this power play. Here, 6-on-5 advantage for Marist. They're looking to be the first team to convert a power play so far today. And quickly trying to catch the keeper with her hips facing the wrong direction for an easy goal. No such luck yet. Passing on the perimeter. They have a look now. Goes off Delaney Cleveland's hand, hits the post, and the referee will rule that stayed inbound, so it's still a live ball. 1 second remaining in the power play. Full strength now. Caroline Anderson came out of the penalty square, was able to cause some disruption on the shot that went wide right.
Caused just enough pressure to force a wide shot, like you said. Now the Wolverines looking to retake the lead.
The ball around midpool gets up to Delaney Cleveland, who has some space to advance. Gets it in to Maddie Steer. She is fouled. That should be an exclusion. Off yet, I suppose. No, and I do see now a Marist player leading the pool. 6-on-5 advantage, and that's going to result in a Michigan. Coach Leonardi is going to call a timeout here, draw up the play he wants. So now Michigan can take roles reversed here on back-to-back possessions in this second quarter. My
Michigan
apologies.
Probably has about 2 possessions left. Both of them count. Quality shots, if not goals, on each of them. Throughout this one, make sure everybody's queued up as to what's going on. That they value this possession.
It was 3 games ago, the last time Michigan had a halftime lead against Wagner, into being ahead in these games and not be playing from behind as they have for most of the weekend. A goal here could help accomplish that. Who do you think Leonardi is going to try to get the ball to for this play?
Too much of Maddie Steer in this one. A good game in the last one that we were here for this morning against Pacific. I was expecting them to try and get her the ball a little bit more, but I would expect her or maybe Kim Johnson, who also had a good day yesterday, to be main points on offense for the Wolverines.
We have not called Maddie Steer's name much today. She was able to create separation for a teammate by drawing attention on one of the Michigan goals. She did herself very well in these games. I expect to see more of that soon enough from her. Balls with Caroline Anderson. Goes across the pool to Kim Johnson. She scored a lot this weekend. She pump fakes, decides to give it, pushes it back to Anderson on the wing. Anderson finds Steer up top. Quickly back to John Cleveland. She had some time. Ball ricochets off the crossbar back to Johnson. Power play over. Anderson now has a bit of an angle, being approached from behind side of the post, but goes harmlessly to the Marist keeper. Neither team has converted a power play yet today. That's surprising.
It's not for lack of shot opportunities. It's just more unfortunate misses for the Wolverines.
With 45 seconds, Marist tried to force the ball up. Intercepted by Kim Johnson. She's now trying to create a fast break, score quickly here for the Wolverines. But that was a bit overthrown, that pass, and it ends up resulting in a steal for Marist keeper. A rare keeper steal to her resume. 28 seconds. Marist should get the last, unless they either shoot very quickly. Catherine Tioran is able to get some space on the wing and shoot a contested shot, or elects to pass after wasting some time drawing double coverage. Back to Tiarina. She has a wide look here. Almost out of time, 5 seconds. Let to come up with a shot quickly. Back up top. The shot is wide, and it's deflected. Hit multiple Michigan hands, and that will allow the period to be expired. Wolverines to avoid another halftime deficit.
Yeah, they'll take a tie, a 3-3 tie into halftime. You know, exactly what maybe they were looking for, but it's not unfavorable either. Low scoring affair for a game like this.
Indeed, it's been a disappointing weekend so far for the Wolverines. 3 meaningful games, and right now this one is very much up in the air. I think they're hoping to at least come away with one top 10 win. UCLA, they definitely take a win against a very good Pacific team. Dropping in the rankings after their results today, but they should remain the favorites for the CWPA conference and earn an automatic bid to Los Angeles for the NCAA championships. They've gone 2 straight consecutive years, looking to make it a third. Conference play is yet to open up. Michigan came into the year with such high expectations. They're looking to maybe be in a position where they could drop a game in conference, not win the conference, but still end up winning the bid to the tournament. They're going to have to beat top 10 teams to do that. Disappointingly, we're not able to come away with that. Michigan team is going to be able to compete with other top teams as this already played one tournament in California. They're going to keep going back to California for tournaments. Well, they'll play the country's best.
Despite maybe a couple tough results from this weekend, it's good that they're challenging top teams, a lot of ranked teams here, highly skilled teams, and they're trying to compete with them. It's okay earlier in the year if maybe you weren't, because they're not the level that they're going to finish the year at, and so they're just trying to get better early in the year by challenging themselves with some tough games and lessons that they can take into the future. This is a really young team, room for improvement, and with this improvement, they could potentially be at that level where they could, like Pacific and UCLA that we're seeing here today. But it all starts with improvement, and that improvement does come and learning some lessons from tough losses.
Knowing that Michigan is also without their usual starting keeper, Heidi Rittner. She has not played this tournament. Quite sure as to why, but Cameron Cordial's done a good job in goal. He's not the typical starter, and has done a good job in. It'll be interesting to see what level of keeper play Michigan has going forward. Certainly no complaints about the keepers in this one. 3-3. It's been a low-scoring affair.
Yeah, you said it yourself though. But it's been the penalties that they have come back to haunt them in a lot of games. This game, not so much. Actually, the power play in this one. But that's something they could definitely work on moving forward. Their offensive execution, sometimes they just pass it around too much without. And then on a couple of occasions today, they've been mid-pool. And then that's just stagnated the offense completely.
Indeed, it's been a low-scoring affair, 3-3 at the break. Want to energize their offense more. Maddie Steer, as you mentioned, is typically the focal point of this offense, has not gotten involved too much today. I think our second half, Michigan has great odds of winning this one. We're a minute 40 away. They came a long way as well from, say the name for me one more time, Lucas.
Poughkeepsie, New York.
Poughkeepsie. Got to remember that. Poughkeepsie. I don't want to come up empty-handed. And I guess with Poughkeepsie, quite the trip out here.
Yeah, I mean they don't really have like an airport of their own there. It's not that big of a town, so they kind of got to get towards New York City area. Albany, they go for that too, but New York City is definitely the biggest airport nearby. Got a plane over here from there, but yeah, I mean lots of very distant teams, not quite that big here in the Midwest.
No. The only two Big Ten teams that play water polo are Michigan and Indiana, and that's, of course, not enough for a conference. That's water polo at the varsity level. Basically, every school has its club water polo teams, but Michigan and Indiana compete in water polo from the Big Ten. They could participate in the College Water Polo Association Conference, the association of teams that their typical conferences don't have varsity water polo. So the Wolverines being, only with Indiana as the only Big Ten school, but the varsity level here. Michigan hoping they can beat the 12th ranked Indiana Hoosiers later this year at the CWPA title. Opening sprint any second now. We'll hear the referee's whistle. Here's again for the Wolverines, who will swim against, it looks like once again, number 13 of Marist. This one by a considerable margin. Michigan has really outswam Marist so far today, winning all three sprints. Catherine Tiarina not quite able to get there as quickly as Kathy Rogers could. Caroline Anderson now with possession, passes it up to Rogers. Surveying, trying to find a teammate. As back, Steer fights for it, the ball comes loose. Get there, however, it ended up sailing harmlessly to Marist keeper. Looking for a pass. It's at the Tiarina. Mostly guarded by Caroline Anderson. who's instructed by the referee to give Tiarina some space. Ball played deep into the mid-pool. Marist surveying. They've not got any penetration at all in this possession, not even smelling the 5-meter zone from where they are. They have to get a shot off sooner rather than later. 7, they're going backward. This is not the way to start a possession. They're likely just going to dump this one off. They do indeed dump this in to the Michigan's 5-meter zone, forcing Cameron Cordial to chase this one.
On that possession for Michigan, but no harm done as they're able to keep Marist away from the goal.
They played physical, drew minor fouls, but no major fouls. With a misaligned shot, that goes way ahead of her target, Laura Jimenez. And now Marist back in possession. Still a tie game here, 6:40 to remain in the third quarter. Marist and Anais Mathis now with possession. Gets it up to Tiarina, the sprinter. Caroline Anderson, physical defense once again, but it's paying off. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Marist has yet to get into the 5-meter zone. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They just dump it into the corner to get to the ball and wasting time of their own shot clock.
Good defense again by Michigan, by Marist.
Anderson finds a wing. Rogers back to Caroline Anderson, who has a lot of space, advances into the 5-meter zone. Swims backward, gets the ball to Julia Sellers, who jumps out of the water, gives an intimidating fake, but decides to pass it to Laura Jimenez. Sophie Pontre, rather. Gets the ball to Anderson, who skips it. That ball was a low percentage shot. Had to try to get around a defender and the keeper. Easily corralled by Marist's keeper. 5:30 to go. 3 in a very defensive battle.
Yeah, stifling defense so far to start the half for both clubs.
An offensive turnover, so, well, not, as you said, stifling defense. Some turnovers here. Putting an offensive foul, giving the ball to Michigan. So now Maddie Steer has the ball, dumps it back to Julia Sellers. Back to Maddie Steer. She has a bad angle. She won't take that shot. Julia Sellers, 17 seconds. Caroline Anderson. Kathy Rogers with the ball now. That's 2. It's long. Defender approaches her now. 8 seconds. 7. Julia Sellers streaking across, draws attention, gets Maddie Steer open for a wide-angled shot. And wow, she skips it in on the short side of the net. Coverage played along the near post. She still manages to find a gap between her, resulting in a Michigan goal. Michigan is back in the lead here with 4:52 to play, a 4-3 lead for the Wolverines.
It's an incredibly difficult shot by Maddie Steer. I mean, the angle that she had to shoot that at was very difficult. But she's able to squeak it by the goalie, and that's the first time we've really called her name in the capacity of goal scoring today. And hopefully the Wolverines would love to hear her name called a lot more because she's such a dynamic scorer for them.
The Wolverines needed a big half out of her halftime on that plan. As meanwhile, Marist tries to swim into the Michigan 5-meter zone, swam down by Maddie Steer. A tussle for the ball results in Marist in space. They dump it back behind the 5-meter zone. Surveying for an open look. They have to shoot quickly. They fire at the goal. Cordial makes the save, however. To be Michigan ball. Really solid defense from the Wolverines this half. Marist has not really gotten any realistic chances on goal. They've been having to fire up long shots, just abandon possessions entirely, as Delaney Cleveland now has the ball inside the 5-meter zone. She should have taken that one. She had to go very wide to have possibly gotten in. It sails several meters left of the mark.
Yeah, an ill-advised shot, but like you said, this is probably the best defense we've seen from the Wolverines all tournament.
They really have shut down Marist. Allowed double-digit scoring once. Pacific game that we just called earlier this morning, a 10-7 defeat. Right now, still pretty staunch defense. 9 seconds remaining, and after a somewhat errant pass, wanted the ball more and outswam Gavin. The ball down the pool. Cleveland has no one defending her right now. She can get into the 2 meter zone with the ball, take a shot. Near side beyond the keeper. That is deflected, though. It's going to be Marist ball. 3:10 remaining in the period.
Cleveland, but unable to convert on the offensive end. But that's the look that the Wolverines will live with.
Is now guarding Marist, Lauren Smith. The ball can't find anything. Offensive foul here.
It's a fast break opportunity.
Kim Johnson is way ahead of everyone. She's going to have a lot of time to set this one up. She's had this situation before today. Couldn't convert. Sees that no one can catch her. This time she nails it. Parked herself right at the 2 meter line. Keeper could have realistically had any hopes of stopping that one. And that gives Michigan their first 2-goal lead of the day. And they're just now feeling comfortable after Kim Johnson heads up play, heard the whistle, sprinted as fast as she could for the goal, and had plenty of time to wind up the perfect shot.
Kim Johnson converts time around on the breakaway. She's a fast, strong swimmer out ahead of the Marist pack and go one-on-one with the goalie. Times out of 10, she'll probably hit that shot. I guess she missed one earlier, but got this one this time.
She extends Michigan's lead to have an impressive victory here over Marist. Continue to impress the College Water Polo Association in their rankings. Meanwhile, again, just stifling defense by the Wolverines. There's really not much to talk about when Marist has the ball because they're just kind of looking for a pass and can never find anything. Ends up stealing the ball, pit-pocketing it away from a Marist player. Kathy Rogers now has the ball in the 5 meter zone, passes it across the pool. She puts it into the side netting. A fantastic shot. That's what happens when you don't put hands in the face of an attacker. Good shot, throwing hard into the net like she just did there to beat Marist's keeper.
A couple snipes like that from Skylar Pyle this tournament. Shot from pretty far away, but back of the net, she finds big goal. 6-3, Michigan really pulling away now.
Skylar Pyle's second goal of the day, had one earlier against Pacific. Man, you just mentioned it. Away in this one, they now have doubled Marist thanks to a really good third quarter, especially a really good past 2 minutes of this third quarter on the board. But now it's just a floodgate is open. Michigan scoring on, I think, each of its 3 previous possessions, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, on a very, very strong run, but the defense has not tailed off either. High level. This is the kind of potential that we expected out of the Wolverines. And maybe this performance can carry on through the rest of this game and maybe into the future.
May have resulted in a win against Pacific or UCLA. We've seen this team play very well before this season, losing a really tight one to UCLA 5-4. That also, such a low-scoring match. You know that they had to have had fantastic defense to stop women's national team Olympic star Maddie Musselman, arguably the second-best women's player in the world behind Berkeley's Maggie Stevens. Great game last night in Ann Arbor. They're down, though, a week ago in Santa Barbara. It seems to be more that Santa Barbara defense here right now for the Wolverines. They have totally shut down Marist. Marist hasn't even gotten a good look at all this quarter, and there's only 2:14 to go this 8-minute quarter. Marist right now still passing around the perimeter, yet to get any penetration at all this quarter. Kim Johnson with some solid defense. Michigan being very aggressive. Marist entered the 5 meter zone. That's probably their best look all quarter, and still not a great one. Between the ball and the cage, forced a high-angled shot that did not dip quick enough to result in the goal. Meanwhile, Michigan the ball to Kim Rogers, who finds Kathy Rogers. His honor and cannot come away with the ball. However, it's going to be deemed an exclusion. Michigan now has a 6-on-5 opportunity. They can open this game wide up with a 4-goal lead. And head coach Dr. Marcel Leonardi is very interested in doing so, which is why he calls a timeout. Put forward and get the best possible look they can. They could sit back and be content with their good defense they played. Instead, they lob it right forward to Kim Johnson, who finds Kathy Rogers wisely letting go of the ball once it's passed to her. Aggressive Marist defense to foul her and draw an exclusionary penalty. You cannot without the ball in the water or hold them back. She was able to draw a hold back there. Power play up and coming at the conclusion of this timeout.
And so in this timeout, Michigan probably has about, maybe 2 or 3 possessions left in this quarter. They, Dr. He's probably telling his girls that, he's liking the intensity they're playing at right now. He wants them to sustain it and try and separate themselves even some more.
Power play, it appears to be power play specialist Maddie O'Reilly. She comes in quite a bit for these, gets playing time in regular situations as well, but is really a star on the power play. She is joined alongside by Delaney Cleveland, Emily Rittner, Michigan's usual starting goalie Heidi Rittner, Maddie Steer, Christina O'Back. It is Kylie Pyle in. Ball into Rittner. She swims, has an open alley, but pretty far away from the goal. Goal to Maddie O'Reilly. Maddie O'Reilly has 2 hands in her face. Right by her, Delaney Cleveland. Cleveland across to the fellow wing. Gets it to O'Reilly. O'Reilly surveys, pump fakes to Rittner. Rittner fires. That one skips off the top of the crossbar. However, an errant pass by the Marist keeper trying to clear it ends up getting stolen by Kylie Pyle. O'Reilly chance. 0 for 2 there on that possession. Skips one over the crossbar. Now avoiding tragedy, and they succeed in their quest to not score.
Yeah, Michigan had an opportunity to score. Some of the Marist swimmers started headed the other way on the first shot attempt. Michigan got the rebound. Their look. Now Marist will try and cut it into the Michigan deficit.
Seconds left in this period, and Marist has yet to get into the 2-meter zone at all this period. Probably Delaney Cleveland will have to go off for the Wolverines, and it's going to be a 6-on-5 advantage. This will really help them get their offense going, which has struggled greatly so far. Fakes. Continues to pump fake. Time called, rather. It's going to set up. Start here.
Yeah,
they still have 7 seconds remaining on the power play.
Not sure what happened there.
Well, Tia Arenas has the ball down the wing. In her face. But she's able to get it. She's able to fade back, get some space and separation between her and Maddie O'Reilly. Fire into the side netting for a Marist goal, 6-4.
Had her hands up, denying a shot attempt. And the Marist player just kind of froze her, waiting for her to bring her hands down and then shot it. Just being patient and finding a shot opportunity. It's Marist's first goal of the second half.
They showed excellent patience there, waiting for defenders to lose their focus a bit and look toward other players where she may be passing possibly. Uses them while they're off guard to get a goal, to sneak a goal by them. Play at midpool after the goal. Emily Rittner holding the ball right now. Here they have to fire quickly. Maddie O'Reilly with the shot. Oh, what a great execution there. They had about 15 seconds on that possession. Were able to get, and O'Reilly sneaks it beyond the keeper for a Michigan goal. 7-4 here. And not really any time for Marist to find a quality shot. They're going to take one from beyond midpool.
Maddie O'Reilly caught the ball on her backstroke, gain her balance in the pool, and fire a shot right past the Marist goalie.
Marist launches the shot on goal, but that was not hard enough or position to possibly get by Cameron Cordial. Easy save. It's going to be 7-4 going into the fourth period, and that was the period Michigan's been looking for all weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Maddie O'Reilly finishes it off strong. Quick strike goal. She's a freshman from Villanova, Pennsylvania, really showing this is a bright piece for the Wolverines' future.
Indeed, an impressive freshman. This Michigan team is quite young, and starters are underclassmen. The stars team is sophomore. Every keeper on this roster is a sophomore or a freshman. Caroline Anderson and Sarah Campbell, fellow senior Laura Jimenez are the seniors who get a lot of playing time. But outside of that, you have a lot of freshmen and sophomores playing. Now we had Emily Rittner, Skylar Pyle, Maddie O'Reilly, who are freshmen and sophomores. Maddie Steer, I already mentioned, the sophomore. This Michigan team has a bright future ahead of them. The landscape of college water polo and have a non-California team be a real competitor. They finished 4th in the 2016 championships, a C in the 3rd place game. They certainly potential here to maybe challenge California's dominance in the college water polo world.
They're already playing at a high level and competing in some capacity with these top teams. This roster, like we talked about at halftime, the room for improvement, especially this season, is astounding. They can really make the year, do some damage in the tournament, and set themselves up not just for this season, but for the next few years to come.
Roster, they've got a lot of them have 3 or 4 years ahead of them into the NCAA tournament, back-to-back appearances for the Wolverines for the first time in program history. The CWPA, they swept the CWPA preseason awards. Jumps into the pool and floats all the way to the bottom, getting ready for her swim off with, I presume, Catherine Tiarina again. All 3 sprints today. That's a great way to win games when you have 4 extra possessions because you're winning all the sprints.
Yeah, Kathy Rogers, another young freshman who's done some good work today and yesterday as well. She'll look to win this sprint.
They're out there. Kathy Rogers looks like she's won this one once again. That was a bit closer than before. Tiarina put up a good battle. Nonetheless, Michigan will be 4 for 4 on the day. All 4 sprints. That's a very good recipe for success. To Matt Steer right on the edge of the 5-meter zone. Gets it back to Kathy Rogers, who won the sprint. Back across the pool to Maddie Steer.
Hasn't there yet.
Indeed, there was a minor foul called against Steer's defender. They get the ball in to the center. She's double teamed to play it back. Delaney Cleveland gets it back to Kathy Rogers, who's unaccounted for. She could shoot. It'd be a long one. Faze has to retreat. Ball back to Julia Sellers, who feeds it in down low. However, Kim Johnson could not win the fight for the ball. It's going to be down 3. They have to start making ground quickly. Their lone goal in the 3rd quarter came off of a power play. They did nothing else without that one power play. They continue to struggle to create any kind of pressure for this Wolverine defense. Now, though, they're going to have another power play that could possibly make the difference here. 6-on-5. Tiarina, who scored the goal in the last one, decides to pass it. Fakes. Back to Tiarina, who waits. Back up top to the point. And she does a short, she goes near side, shakes it in for a goal. That's going to be 7-5 now. Mara's still in this thing.
And by Tiarina, she, second time that where she stays patient, either passes it around or waits until she gets a look she likes from the left wing against Cameron Cordial, able to slip it by once again.
5, Marist not willing to go out to this one just yet. Rogers holds onto the ball at mid-pool, is being forced to retreat. Finds Cleveland on the wing. Cleveland pump faking, looking for a teammate. Back up to Rogers at the point. Assuming a center back position now. Up to Cleveland. Kim Johnson fighting to get open. 8 seconds to go on the shot clock. Gets some space. 7 to go. 6. Center. She commits an offensive foul. It's going to be Marist ball. Marist hesitating, lobs it up. Gets it ahead to Tiarina. Tiarina cannot swim Johnson, though, and Johnson able to bat the ball toward her keeper. So in this 4th period, Marist needs to score 2 if they want to force overtime. Kim Johnson has some space to swim. Fires one, skips it past the keeper. That's an 8-5 lead now for the Wolverines.
Another goal for stellar weekend skips maybe 3 times even past the Marist goalie. Definitely establishing herself as one of the premier offensive options for the Wolverines.
And Pontre come out, Maddie O'Reilly and Laura Jimenez come in. Impressive shot by Kim Johnson.
Goal lead. Now the Wolverines can play around their lineups and youth.
Delaney Cleveland with aggressive defense draws a minor foul. However, she was able to push to their own side of the pool while doing so. Jimenez also forcing, Kim Johnson rather, forcing. An errant pass goes too long. Sellers, along with Marist, Courtney Fisher fight for it. Illusionary penalty while doing so. For Marist, they pick up their previous 2 attempts. One into the back of the net. Tiarina yet to touch it so far. Teammates serving. Now they get it to Tiarina, guarded by Maddie O'Reilly. Oh, and Maddie O'Reilly picks it up. A rare mistake from Jimenez. And close on Maddie O'Reilly trying to steal the ball back deep in Michigan territory. That gamble does not pay off. Now Michigan has a numbers advantage as Maddie Steer is swimming with the ball quickly into the Marist 5-meter zone, looking to get an advantage. Finds Laura Jimenez, who's wide open, who gets one just deflected by the keeper. She got just enough of that ball to steer it away from the goal. Marist will recover.
Good push and a great pass by Maddie Steer. Unfortunately, Jimenez unable to get the ball by the Marist goalie. It was a pretty fantastic save to keep this deficit at just 3 goals.
Jimenez gets the ball into the 5-meter zone, dumps it off to a teammate. He pump fakes. Wow, what a shot. That's going to be a Marist goal. Tony, we were watching her yesterday and we're impressed with the sniper of an arm she had. Launches one from 10 meters out to the upper shelf. 8-6, this game is not yet over.
She's got some serious range. Marist offense maybe starting to find a little bit of life. Possession here to stop any sort of momentum from creeping into Marist's favor.
Using Cantoni, keeping her team in this game. They haven't been able to get deep into the Michigan 5-meter zone at all this game. However, that didn't really matter because from 10 meters out, she just nailed one. Michigan might play her a bit more tightly after that. Maddie O'Reilly now passes it back to Delaney Cleveland. 12 seconds, running out of time. They have yet to force any pressure so far this possession. They get it into Kim Johnson down low, but 3 different Marist defenders enclose on her. That's going to be Marist ball within 2, which allows her teammates to get down the field. Lobs one ahead. That's a wet pass, a very well-placed one to Lexi Poole. The edge of the 5-meter zone. Feeds it into teammate Justine Castro. Gets the shot off. Ricochets off the post. Range with 3 minutes to go, down 2. They have to start playing very well from here on out to force overtime. Play up to Delaney Cleveland, who's wide open with some space to move. Swims into the 5-meter zone along the wing. Finds Kim Johnson's up and takes a shot. Winds up. Goal that skips in. What a shot. Lower corner. Skips in. Put this game not quite at the reach. 3 minutes to play. That's still plenty of time in the water polo world. It has to be perfect if they want to force overtime.
Yeah, Kim Johnson tells her teammate Delaney Cleveland, good pass. And indeed it was. Shot. Kim Johnson. Can't say enough about her offensive game. Phenomenal. Scoring
the pass to Michigan goals, and that's why you really can't ever afford to get lazy on defense. They let Cleveland get open early into possession before she was posing much of a threat, but because she was open, she was able to find a wide open Kim Johnson with all that time to wait and find the best pass. Good defense on Maddie Steer. There's a hand in every single Marist player's face. It's going to be very difficult. Susan Castoni now has the ball, but she's very closely guarded by Caroline Anderson. They're not going to let her get away with a wide open look. But very wide shot, very far away. But when you look that wide open, some time to look up to wind up, and you're such a great goal scorer, like you have to take that shot. Ends up firing wide. Michigan ball. Kim Johnson with the ball. Back to Pontre. Sophie Pontre pump fakes, looking. John pass to her. Johnson is getting coverage now from Castoni. Her pass to Caroline Anderson a bit too long. We're down 3, 9-6, 2 minutes to go. Chris Vidal calls timeout. Possession. If they don't score here, this game is effectively out of their reach.
Last chance for Marist to try and get back in this thing. Brains, with the way they've been playing, I wouldn't say it looks too favorable for the Red Foxes.
Yeah, do you have any confidence that Marist is going to be able to get a good look on this one with the way Michigan's been playing defense?
I don't. Honestly, they need a quick shot because they're running out of time.
The referee right below us, we're on the second deck, lobs the ball up right in front of us, and always cool to get that kind of angle of it. Marist not able to get too much pressure so far. They find an open woman in the 5-meter zone. Defense from Kathy Rogers forces her to pass it back. Back to Susan Castoni, but she is getting very tight coverage from Kim Johnson. They're not letting her get an open shot ever again after that. A Michigan player ends up going right into the hands of a Marist player. There's a big scrimmage for the ball, but Kathy Rogers is going to come out with it. The moment that Michigan had possession, a foul was... The referee still explaining himself, and it was a smart call there, much like in basketball when a player is getting double-teamed, and they just call a timeout before they lose the ball. It appears Kathy Rogers did so, and Michigan called the timeout.
Yeah, the Marist coach not too happy about that one. With that one.
It was arguable if the Michigan player ever had possession. It was a weird sequence of events. Played to their center. The ball was tipped away by a Michigan player, but then wound up almost in the hands of another Marist forward. Though when Kathy Rogers seemed to have had it for a second, either her or head coach, Dr. Marcelo Leonardi, was able to call a timeout just in time, giving Michigan the ball with a 3-goal lead. Left in this one. That should do it with a 35-second shot clock. Michigan to just do much ado about nothing here. Allow the ball around the perimeter and take one shot when they get it right at the end of the shot clock.
As long as Michigan possesses the ball here, there shouldn't be much of a problem for them. But only about 3 full shot clock cycles left in this game.
We'll want to get the accomplishment of having a double-digit scoring game. In Santa Barbara last weekend, scoring 16, 10, and 13 in their 3 victories against Wagner. Goal victory here would be impressive, but Michigan also might get their first single-digit victory of the season thanks to fantastic defense here against Marist. 28 minutes, 27 to go. They find Kathy Rogers, who is wide open. I guess they'll take a shot there. If such a good opportunity presents itself, Rogers fires immediately in the arm and the side of not Wagner, my apologies, Marist keeper. Cannot get by her, though. 1:10 to play. They're going to have to score 3 times, 35-second shot clocks. Even if they score a goal in 1 second each time they get the ball, they're not going to have enough time to hold on to the ball.
Right, as long as Michigan plays within themselves and doesn't make any mental errors, it's basically theirs.
It's going to just about do it here. Teams are playing for pride, want to put their best foot forward. You never want to loaf at any point of the game. It's always a chance to see your team's strengths, your weaknesses, how to get better. It seems to believe that this game is out of hand. They're going to try to score when they can, not worry about running the clock out. Good to see that both teams are still committed to putting their best foot forward, and we can still see some quality water polo here in our last 69 seconds of Michigan water polo here in Canham Natatorium against...
Well, either way, I mean, in a tournament like this, it doesn't have too much implications for the end of the year. You want to just practice late game situations with your team, right? And even if Marist is out of this game, they might have an opportunity later in the year where they need to execute with 1:09 left. So this is a great opportunity to just work on your mental toughness for later in the year when you will probably need it.
Passing the ball around the perimeter. Can't find anyone. Great defense like Caroline Anderson tips the ball. However, Susan Castoni has an open look now. So another tip by Caroline Anderson. It's going to be a swim for the ball. Marist comes up from this one. 11 seconds on the shot clock. shot fires wide into the right. 5 seconds to go, 43 seconds to go, 35 on the shot clock. From Coach Leonardi, not sure why this game is out of reach, but maybe he wants to practice a play that he's thinking might come in handy later in the year.
I think that could be it. He wants to. He's the 43 seconds left in the game. Really, just like try something, see if it works. So now's a great opportunity to do that against a live defense.
Lab again for the Wolverines, experimenting with whatever they're drawing up here. Improved to 5-4 on the season, playing only top 25 teams so far, and almost all of those top 20 schedule. So 5-4 is an impressive mark for any team. Caroline Anderson with the ball, attempting to find teammate, is fouled, an exclusionary foul against Michigan now as again shot clock is off. 24 seconds. Michigan can pass the ball around, try to get their 10th goal today on this. Oh, and Packers power plays. Maddie Skier has a wide open alley to the goal. She fires wide left though. With 12 seconds to go, it'll be the last possession of this game. Good look, an uncharacteristically poor shot from her. Gives the ball to Marist with 3 seconds. They're going to take their last shot. 2:30 ended up getting saved. Portiel saves one right at the buzzer, and that will do it for Michigan's intercollegiate play. They have one more game. I'd like to thank Lucas Vargas. His day here is done for us here for WCBN. Up so early to call these games for me. We've got to see Michigan split the series 1-1 this morning. Collegiate teams on the season. Their record is now 5-4.
Absolutely. I enjoyed it, Daniel, and I enjoyed getting an early look at the Michigan Wolverines water polo team. That should continue to get better and better as the year progresses. See some of the low-profile college sports and give credit where it's due to the student athletes. Sports because they're working hard, just as hard as anybody else. They deserve that credit.
Indeed, and fans have showed up to support them. Look live into watching this water polo team over this weekend for the meaningful. What are your thoughts on this team going forward?
Well, I think the youth is very, very promising. The juniors too are very good too. I think they might take a little bit to really reach their full potential, but by the end of the year, dangerous team that could be able to compete with teams like UCLA that we saw earlier.
Improving team, Olympic talent from quite a few countries. End up splitting 2-2. Maybe not the exact result they're looking for. Terrible. That's going to do it for us here from Canham Natatorium. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you tune in for the broadcasts throughout the year. We are calling Michigan and Northwestern basketball tomorrow. Make sure to tune in for that one at 7 p.m. And as always, we wish you a good day and a go blue.